the snowy Norwegian countryside lives an aspiring artist and storyteller. She is at the beginning of her journey to learn the craft she loves, and recently she endeavored on a year-long art challenge, learning how to draw and paint anything in 1 year. For the month of February, she challenged herself to learn how to draw heads and faces. She wanted to understand the anatomy of the confinement that holds humanity's souls. And most of all, she wanted to find the secret to what makes these confinements either pretty or beautiful. The only question is, what defines the word beautiful? What defines the word pretty? Is there even a difference? Beginning of her challenge, she didn't give much attention to either of those words, because she didn't even know how to construct a proportionally correct head or face, let alone draw a realistic one. So she spent the first 2 weeks learning and understanding and observing, and playing with different ideas for the portrait she'd want to draw at the end of the month as her exam. Then came the real challenge, because it turned out most people don't fit into the exact standardized box of perfect lines and proportions. She learned that beauty doesn't lie in the perfect symmetry of features and shapes, but rather in the details that deviate from them. Prettiness, on the other hand, is that box. Prettiness refers to the different levels of symmetrically pleasing attributes of a face. Symmetry, equal proportions, perfect lines, fair skin, all describe what beauty can't. This challenge turns out to teach her one very important thing. Beauty doesn't lie in the words that describe a pretty face. Beauty lies in the details that society has a habit of calling flaws, imperfections, and asymmetry. Which then again means that there is no standard for beauty. There is no recipe, no constructual method for her to draw a beautiful face. Just a pretty one. A beautiful face is like a wildflower, free in the field, with its blemishes and scars, its withered parts and complicated root systems, facing countless heavy storms and long days in scorching sunlight. Those flowers embrace every moment, but also pay for it with time and energy and suffering, embodying the meaning of what it means to be alive. Whilst a pretty face, it is more like a store-bought flower, the ones chemically grown to perfection, meant to last long, but never fully blossom. Those flowers are sheltered from the storm since their beginning of life. They are sheltered from the challenges, the bad weather, but they're also withheld from the pure blissful moments of swaying in the wind while sun rays bounce off their petals, twinkling in the drops of rain recently passed. A store-bought flower is, well, just pretty. A wildflower, though, exudes and embraces life in all its turbulent phases, and its beauty derives from that, not its appearance. She feels like there might be some truth to it regarding faces too, especially when it comes to what people choose to glorify and admire in society. The store-bought or the wildflowers, the mask or the soul that carries it. The days and her challenge went by, and she started to grasp an understanding of how to draw unique faces. She found beauty in the most interesting places, for example, in the 2 different shapes of nostrils in one nose, or how the eyes squint or droop when someone laughs or cries, the wrinkles that tell a lifetime of stories nobody gets to hear, the birthmark or freckles that bring a lifetime of insecurity. Beauty lies in the scars, the blemishes, the uneven skin, the lack of or the protrusion of an upper lip, the gap between front teeth. The list goes on. And she thought to herself while drawing, the ones who notice those details are those who love you, care about you, see you and accept you for who you are. The ones who see you behind all the masks you carry out of fear, discomfort, shame, or whatever makes people uncomfortable sharing their true selves these days. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That suddenly took on a completely new meaning. Technically, she would never be able to draw a beautiful face that appealed to everyone, that is. And what a relief that was to realize that she will never have to try to obtain prettiness or beauty, because those who know and love her already find her to be a magnificent being, and those who don't find her beautiful or pretty are the ones who probably don't have a place in her life anyway. Moving into the present, she decides to draw a self-portrait as her exam, beautiful to those she loves and unimportant to the rest of the world. To draw her own face, though, she has to take a step back, not look at all the details that fit into the symmetry of a head construction, but rather look at all the details that make her different from everyone else. She has a nose that looks fairly straight at a distance, but if you look closer, you can see one side of it bulging ever so slightly. Because during the worst time of her life, she'd entered a kickboxing match. She'd won, but the cost had been a shattered nose. Her right eye droops when she gets emotionally tired, and she has a habit of drinking too much coffee in the mornings, which has led to discolored teeth. As a kid, she was called the soccer ball head girl, because the shape of her head had been just that, as round as a soccer ball. Or perhaps an apple, like her mother likes to say in the most loving way. It is all about perception, isn't it? What she likes about her own face, though, are her lips. She likes their shape and the way they allow her to smile widely. And she likes her eyes, how they squint when she is genuinely happy. Most of all, she loves her eyebrows, being bushy and all, but never having been touched by neither hands nor tweezers. With these details in mind, she goes to work, not expecting to be able to draw a likeness per se, because that is quite out of her reach just yet. 28 days isn't enough time to understand the intricacies of what makes humans unique. But she is excited to study her own face with the eyes of a stranger, noticing the details but not judging them, and see what will come out of it. To face herself, to confront the mask that is ever-changing based on the people she's with. She loves her face. She loves her head and the soul that is confined within it, because it has led her to the people she has in her life, and she couldn't be more grateful for them. Pretty or beautiful, it doesn't matter in the end, does it? Because she is who she is, and her face tells her story.